Hi, my name's Phil Carmen and I'm the Associate Minister at All Saints and St Andrews Huntington, and I want to share with you some of our plans that we have as a church for the More Than Gold 2012 mission, but I also want to give you some simple tips on reaching out to families. My hope and prayer is that this will help your church think about and plan your outreach for the 2012 More Than Gold mission. When John Burns from More Than Gold came to speak to us at One Voice York about the mission in 2012, one of the things I clearly remember him saying was that as churches we should do things that we're good at. So if as a church you're really good at doing coffee mornings for the elderly and you do that really well, then why not do a More Than Gold coffee morning? Or if as a church you're really good at doing things with youth and young people, then do something like that. And so my thought was that we could do something for families, because as a church we have a real focus on reaching families and connecting with families. One of the things that happened at our church is that we have a kids club group that meet every week, and this past summer they did a summer celebration, and they used the back of our church, around the back of St Andrews Church in Huntington, and they had bouncy castles and they had a barbecue and they had face paints and a tuck shop and lots of things going on. Lots of families came and it was great to see all these families, and I managed to chat to some of the families and ask them about what it's like for their children to be going to kids club, what they're learning about God, and had some really interesting conversations. And so what I decided was that as a church we could pinch this idea of kids club and use it for the More Than Gold mission. So I spoke to Kate Denny, who runs the kids club event, and I said, could we pinch your idea? And she was really up for that. So that's what we decided to do. So for the More Than Gold mission, on the Saturday of the mission week, we're going to be running a family fun day with bouncy castle, barbecue, face paints, games, all kinds of things going on. We're going to be using the back of the church area, but we're also going to use the church building itself. We're going to have prayer stations and people available to pray with people. We're going to be using the scout hut that's around the back for games and in case it's bad weather. And we're bringing together lots of different groups like the scouts and the guides and our church to kind of make this event happen. But another thing that John Burns said from More Than Gold was that the More Than Gold mission isn't just for sports fans. To be honest, I'm not really that excited about the Olympics, but actually what I am excited about is reaching people in our parish, reaching people in our community with the message of Jesus, and so I'm really excited about that. So our plan is that everyone will be invited on this, after the fun day, to a guest service on the following day, and this will be followed up by an alpha course which will be starting a few weeks later. We're also planning a quiz night in the week and a flower festival at our other church with cream teas for those who are wanting a less high energy event. So if you're thinking about reaching out to families through More Than Gold, here are some tips. Firstly, 3 Ps: prayer, plan and put in the diary. Think and pray about your community. Where is the best venue? For us it was the church area and the church building, but for you that might not be so obvious. What has worked well in the past? What will attract families and how will you make them feel welcome? Put the date in your diary as soon as possible and let the whole church know that it's happening. Book things like the barbecue or the inflatables really early so that you know that you've got them on what will be a very busy time of year. Secondly, who is going to make it happen? Form a team and get people excited about the event and the potential it has to be used by God. Who has the gift of administration, for example, or organisation? Those people are going to be really valuable. And who are the evangelists? Who could be servers and welcomers? Thirdly, build on your connections. If as a church you have connections with scout groups, toddler groups, youth groups and other events, then build on these things for publicity and getting people involved. These are probably going to be the families that are going to come on the day. Publicise the events through these groups. And connected to this, fourthly, would be to link with these other groups. Why not ask the Scouts groups to look after the barbecue, or the guides to bake cakes, or maybe there's another church locally that you can partner with to make this happen. The more people involved, then the wider the invitation will go. Fifthly, invite families to church. On the day, have a group of friendly church members who can chat with families and invite them to the guest service. Maybe have a simple questionnaire at hand by which you can engage in conversations with these parents and with these children about God, about church, and ask some questions. People are often much more willing to talk about the big things in life than we might expect. And sixthly and finally, follow up. How can you welcome families into the life of your church? What does it feel like to be a 3-year-old in your church service or gathering? And what is the church experience like for a single parent with 2 lively children? Offer Alpha or some other course for these families that you will meet through the event. Make families aware of the children and youth work that you offer, and invite, welcome, and make it a priority to do what Jesus told us we should be doing, making disciples. So go for it. It's such a joy seeing families and individuals come to faith. And there are so many families out there in York that are ready to hear the gospel. So let's go for it. Let's see these lives transformed through the More Than Gold mission in 2012.